the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network, as tonight we are here with the OP Racing Premier Series. They are at Talladega Superspeedway as they kick off the first race in the round of 8. Only 2 races in this round, and we head to Talladega to kick it off. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is KR Stolfus, and in the booth with me is none other than the Twinkle Toes himself. That is Al Smith. How you doing, Al?
Oh, not too bad. Danced myself right into the booth tonight.
Well, I'm very glad that you did that. And man, tell you what, I look forward to spending at least a couple hours with you tonight.
Yeah, it should be a good one here. The round of 8. We went from 16 drivers. Well, 8 of them, their hopes are dashed at being the 2022 OP Premier Racing Series champion. 8 great racers in 2 events. You thought the racing was intense last week. It's only going to keep ratcheting up. Only 3 weeks remain, but 2 rounds this round here to move yourself into that final 4. And it all starts here tonight at none other than the best place to have a party, at Talladega.
I'll tell you what, the Talladega after party when this race is done is going to be outstanding, mostly because you and I will be in attendance. I didn't tell you that?
No.
Well, there you go.
I will be dancing though.
All right, well, qualifying has gotten underway, and as we mentioned, this is the first race in the round of 8. Only 2 races in this round to settle out who our championship 4 will be. And to get that start for this race, we have to get through qualifying. Though right now, the 53 of Dave Hunt making his way through the tri-oval and heading for the start finish line, and across the line Dave Hunt finds himself inside the top 5 for the moment. Josh Milam in the 7 on pole though,
with a Ford power, baby.
That won't stay long, don't worry.
Sebastian Marin working through turns 3 and 4 as JD Crow goes to the top with a 54.185 fast time for the number 2 J Concepts Chevrolet. Sebastian Marin working across the line this time. We'll see what kind of lap Marin will put up, and Marin will go 7th quick for that number 23.
Sebastian Marin normally higher up the chart than that, so a unique qualifying session for him. Hard to put it on the front row every single race though, Al.
I guess so.
Zach Fritsch in the 12 moves up into 2nd place. He shuts it down, freshly eliminated, so be watching out for this 12. He's going to be one of the drivers who's going to do all he can to ruin the plans of other drivers in the championship contention.
It will be, and they are going to be fierce here as they work around here. And right now, KR, how about that? 4 of the 8 drivers inside the top 10 right now are your championship contenders. So a lot of spoilers out there, a lot of them helping each other out. We'll make it 3 drivers that I can't count, apparently.
It happens.
I was trying to do the quick math. I'm looking at the green. Doesn't help.
Always blame quick math.
Yes.
That's all you gotta do.
It does. How about this Reese's car to number 20, Daniel Holloway, working off a turn number 4. He'll be coming across the line. He will be our 16th car. Is now Zach Workman jumps up to 14 or up to 4th. Let's see where Holloway will cross the line. And Dan Holloway is going to slide into the 11th position. Jim Maier, 6 quick KR championship contender, going to start inside of the top 10, it looks like, as of right now.
Yeah, that 95 race car looking very sharp, and he has himself a good starting position. Also, the 47 of Richard Kuhn on the Speedway. 21 cars have taken a lap time here in qualifying, getting down to just under 5 minutes to go. 4 minutes and 42, now make it 4:40 left to go in qualifying as the 47 down through the tribal. Richard Kuhn, his rookie year, and across the start finish line. Just what, 1, 2, 3 more races to go for this 47 to be a rookie and move on to his sophomore season.
That is very true. He'll slot in 13th. Mark Mann slides in the 6th. And we got 3 more drivers on track here. The 63 of Logan, the Kid Helton. A chase contender with the green spoiler. You know, green's a bad color for a race car, don't you, KR?
I don't know. Worked good for Steve Kinzer for many years.
I mean, I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious.
Okay. The 5 of Bob Lacavera is out on the speedway as well. He finds himself down through the tri-oval, and he is going to take that number 5 machine to the green flag for his first time lap. So Bob on the clock.
Did you do the wrist shake?
Of course I did the wrist shake. You have to do the wrist shake when you talk about Bob Lacavera.
I mean, I heard it. He says he can't hear it when we say it. When we were doing the grid walk earlier.
Well, I get it. It's hard to hear my wrist shake, but it was shaking, and it is Bob Lacavera.
How about Logan Helton gonna put it 7th quick as we watch the 5 of Lacavera working down here through the tri-oval. What's this extra football length of a track gonna do here tonight? Gonna make it exciting. Unlike Daytona where we were last week, the start-finish line, well, it's past the tri-oval, KR. A lot can happen in that little bit of real estate.
That it can. Peter deBorja in the 40, making his way out onto the speedway and trying to get his Chevy Camaro up to a semblance of speed compared to a Ford or a Toyota. And the 40 crosses the start finish line, and he is on the clock. Same with Jeremy Funk in the 97. I gotta tell you, one of the things I really like about this 97, the spider that is on the front hood drapes down across the bumper and everything, and not very often you see a paint job like that where it makes it look 3D, where that spider is just kind of pops out. I dig it. I dig it a lot. It's not really a spider.
Do you like spiders, KR?
I mean, I don't dislike them.
I mean, you don't have the arachnophobia yet.
No. It's a good movie though.
A very good movie. Let's see where this spider will cast its web here in qualifying as he comes through the tri-oval. Getting the checkered flag. Peter deBorja just crossing the line. 3rd quick for deBorja. Jeremy Funk, 27th with that spider on the front there. Maybe it was hurting the aerodynamics, KR.
Could be, but with that being said, guys, we're going to step away for the national anthem. No one go anywhere. We'll be back with tonight's starting lineup.
we take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready for tonight's Dega 250, as it is race number 1 in the round of 8. So let's get right into our starting lineup for this one. On the inside of row number 1 with a quick time of 54.185, that is the number 2 of J.D. Crow. To his outside, that is the 12 of Zach Fritsch from Flat Out Motorsports. Row number 2, the 40 of Peter deBorja, and the outside of row number 2 will be the 7 of Josh Milam. Row number 3 will be Zach Workman in the 19 and Kevin Freese in the 25. Row number 4 will be Mark Mann in the 04 and the 63 of Logan, the Kid Helton. Row 5 will be the 95 of Jim Maier and the 77 of David Booth.
Dave Hunt will start in the 11th spot for Buckball Racing. Outside of him, the 73 of Jared Forbes. Justin Barber and Sebastian Marin, a championship hopeful, will start 14th. Jeffrey Crosby will roll off on the inside of row number 8, and outside of him, the rookie out of Florida, Richard Kuhn. Daniel Holloway with that Reese's number 21, and Sean Stevens in the 27 will start 18th. And row number 10 will go to Tyler Miller and Rick Siebrands.
Row number 11 will be the 13 of Andy Brigante, and to his outside, that is the 071 of Eric Laurie. Row number 12, the 46 of David Overstreet, and the 5 of Bob Lacavera. Row number 7, I think. Les Levy in the 62 and Jimmy Reynolds in the 17. Row 9 will be Jeremy Funk and Alex Green. And row 15, because I can't count anymore, it's Jeremy Funk and Alex Green.
What?
I think I messed up somewhere.
You're all messed up. What is going on over there?
I hit the wrong button somewhere along the line.
How about Hunter Reynolds and Cody Eldred in row number 15? Anthony English, Ernie Williams, and Dan Harrington, your 33 cars. And someone that's going to be in a big hole starting next week is the 51 of Miller. Came in here in the top 8 in points in the chase, not in attendance here at the High Banks at Talladega.
Yeah, we are missing Travis Elliott, but the pace car getting ready to drop away. Let's take a quick look at our race info here tonight. As I mentioned, this is race number 1 in the round of 8. 2 races in the round of 8. All drivers have had their points zeroed out in the top 8. So now you have to risk it for the biscuit, and only one fast repair is available as they make their way through the tri-oval. Here we go. Green, the flag is out, and we are underway here for the Dega 250.
Everybody getting back up into the high gear 2x2 in the turn number 1. JD Crow working on the inside with a brand new paint scheme. Loving the look of that number 2 out front here. As he's got Zach Fritz to the outside, followed by 2 chasers. The Extra Life number 40, Peter deBorja and Josh Milam. And that Fuel Sim Racing number 7. Working there behind them, 2x2 as they enter turn 3, and they're coming right at you, KR.
That they are as they head off into the corner and into the history books, because somebody somewhere is going to win this race, and it is going to be kept forever on the interwebs. Zach Fritz in the 12, trying to lead that first lap, gets it done. JD Crow still tight to his inside, right behind that number 2. That is the 40 of Peter deBorja, a championship contender, not only on our Monday night series here in the Premier Series, but Peter deBorja getting through to the Final 4 on Wednesday night as well.
A lot of championships hopes here tonight. A lot of championship racing coming up for these drivers. 2 drivers trying to make an outside line work. That's the 77 of David Booth and the 73 of Jared Forbes. They're working the outside 3 wide through the Talladega Superspeedway. And KR, if there's one thing that we know, this track, well, it can do it. It's not as narrow as Daytona. Last week, we saw how narrow Daytona was. They tried to go 3 wide. Did not work. Well, here, they almost encourage it. And they got some help coming in the form of the 13 of Andy Brigante and the Old Spice number 46 up there. That is David Overstreet. I like that car. He's shaking and baking.
And he's pushing on the 13 of Andy Brigante, but meanwhile, another championship contender out in front. That's the 7 of Josh Milam. Milam also making it to the Final 4 on Wednesday night. If you guys would like to tune in for that race, it is over on Max Speed TV. Make sure you check out OP, I forget what they call that. The Grand National Series. Good grief, what a rough start to the race for me. The OP Grand National Series over on the Max Speed TV channel on Wednesday night. They're getting ready for their Final 4.
I told you not to do those jello shots down in the infield.
Oh, but they were so good, let me tell you. All right, so fastest lap of the race goes to the 82 of Dan Harrington. Right now, that 82 machine, very beautiful paint job, running high, wide, and handsome on the high banks here at Talladega. Right now, everybody on track is under 4 seconds from each other. So Logan Helton, our race leader in the 63, has a 4-second gap to the 44 of Anthony English.
And they're all in this lead pack here as they work around this 2.5, well, I guess it's 2.66 miles here at the Talladega Superspeedway. So this is a little over 2.5 miles. And Logan Helton's fan club in the chat, KR. We got Kathy and Tammy. Thank you for tuning on in. They are loving what they're seeing early on in this one as their driver up on the front.
Yeah, he is out in front, and Kevin in the 25 just now making a move to the outside, going to get a big push. Huge run to the outside. The 25 now takes the race lead. Sebastian Marin, his teammate from Bootnaka, and they slide down to the inside. That moves Logan Helton to 3rd place and puts Bootnaka 1 and 2.
1-2 up on there. Now the 63 of Logan Helton going to take a peek to the outside with the momentum he's got. Richard Kuhn's going to go one more step higher, then cuts it down low, almost out of control there. He has some help there from the 73 of Forbes. Forbes going to cut down in front of Andy Begonstein just like that. Back to 2x2 racing. Step for there. Cody Elders is here. Hold my soda pop. I'm going to go to the top as we got pit stops coming at you here on lap number 6.
Riding on board with Mark Mann as several drivers split off for pit lane. Josh Milam in the 7, Zach Fritsch in the 12, leading multiple drivers on the pit road. Kevin Freese in the 25 retains the race lead. The 23 is Sebastian Marin still in second. JD Crow and Logan Helton third and fourth, with Logan Helton now working the outside with the 47 of Richard Kuhn.
Kuhn there giving a good push. Here's this top, these breakaway cars. I'm sure they're starting to line themselves up to head towards pit road. As I say that, Forbes will jump out the outside, but JD Crow, Freeze, here they all come. Another handful of drivers headed to pit side, get down to the pit road speed. Everybody clean and green so far. Hope to see if anybody will get a speeding penalty. We know how detrimental that can be to your race. A little bit added pressure to these 8 drivers hunting for the championship.
Just a little bit of a nugget of information for you. You can get 17 laps out of this fuel tank running by yourself wide open the whole time. So everyone coming down pit road is coming down early because stage number 1 is going to end at the completion of lap 20. And time again, it is proven that if you can hit pit road first, you have a good shot at being the ones who come out on top. As Logan Helton peels off for pit road, Mark Mann really aggressive, locked that up. We'll see if Mark Mann's going to get a penalty here. But the 73 of Forbes, now your race leader.
Forbes, Lacavera, and Dave Hunt up out the front of this one. Here comes Sean Stevens as well. Anthony English and Jeremy Funk, your top 6 only drivers not to pit as of this point. And this team here, KR, they seem to always want to stretch out the fuel run. See maybe if they can catch that yellow flag. We'll see if they come this time by, but I don't expect to see them for a few more laps. They always stay out a little bit longer than you and I think they should, I feel sometimes.
Jeremy Funk heads for pit road in that 97, so he gives up 6th place to hit pit lane. The 44 of Anthony English now finds himself in 5th place. Our top 5 cars all finding themselves not yet on pit road. So far, Mark Mann has served a penalty, and it does look like the 3 of Alex Green, an extended stop there. Not sure if that was a 4-tire stop for the 3 or what happened, but almost everyone taking fuel only. Alex Green, about a 16-second pit stop.
Yeah, not sure what happened there to the 3, but he is tucked it back in line right behind our race leader, so he'll be back on the lead lap momentarily once these leaders decide to pit as they come across stripe. Lap 10 in the books. Halfway through stage number 1. And Jared Forbes leads Lacavera, Hunt, Stevens, and English. That is your top 5. Josh Milam leads the cars already down pit road. Him and Sebastian Marin running 6th and 7th. Those are your highest chase drivers in the running order currently. They work around Talladega Speedway. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite tracks that the series comes to. You see it time and time again, 3 and even 4 wide racing. Might be a little bit tamed right now, but I don't think it'll stay that way all race long.
No, it won't stay this way all race long. as a new fast lap was laid down by the 40 of Peter deBorja, a 49.69. So they are already getting after trouble down the backstretch. Tyler Miller involved in the 24. He is going to go around. The caution flag is going to come out. And one of our championship contenders goes for a spin down the Talladega super stretch. Holy smokes.
That really saves Forbes, Lacavera, Hunt, and Stevens. They'll be able to come down pit road, lose a lot of track positions. I'm sure they'll have some drivers happen to come down pit road after that one, Gary. Let's take a look and see what happened.
Looks like Jeff Crosby, Tyler Miller, they all get together, make a little bit of contact. Shoots Tyler Miller into the wall. And then everyone's scrambling, and Tyler Miller looks like he's going to end up with the most damage out of this situation, and the damage doesn't look to be that bad. So just a nice little gentle spin. 24 probably hit pit road, hammer that out, and not even worry about a fast repair just yet.
Yeah, I think they can get that at least hammered back out, but that was a heavy right front contact. Good to see if the wheel is maybe out of line on that one. Hey, who had the nice move of the race right there? That was the 21, the Reese's car, KR. How we made it through there without contact is beyond me.
Yeah, he was able to pick his way through very nicely. But the yellow flag flies here on lap 13 of 94. And so now your top 5 are going to hit pit road, but they are going to give up a lot of track position. Everyone else I expect to stay out except for the drivers towards the back and those who need to work on some damage.
Not a huge deal breaker early on in this one. But it will definitely shake it up a little bit. Mark Mann's back on pit road.
Yeah, he came back down, but guys, we're going to take a quick break. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the lights are about ready to go out on that pace car. We're going to stack them up side by side, 2 by 2. Our first caution of the night, about ready to come to a close. As Anthony English going for the gamble. He is going to try and stretch his fuel to the end of stage number 1. We'll see if he can get it done. He is the only driver to not hit pit road. He just might be able to pull it off. Josh Milam in the 7, going to restart on the outside of row number 1. Row 2 will be made up of Sebastian Marin and Zach Workman. And then our third and, well, I won't say final row for this restart, but our third row for this restart, the 63 of Logan, the kid Helton, and the 25 of Zach Fries. So, Al?
Yes.
We're here at Talladega.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are. I
Oh.
know. I maybe lied to you earlier, but we are at Talladega now.
You said we were at Party Town, USA.
Wherever we are together, it's a party.
That is true.
But Al, if you're a driver here at Talladega, and we're just about 5 laps away from the end of stage number 1, you find yourself mid-pack, but championship on the line. Let's say you're Peter deBorja in 12th place.
Yep.
What are you gonna do here?
I'm gonna pull some hair, poke some eyeballs, and get to the front.
I like it. Well, let's ride on board with the 40 of Peter deBorja, our championship contender. One of 8 drivers who needs to score points in this stage. He finds himself mid-pack, not as far down as Tyler Miller, who finds himself restarting in 25th spot. Here we go as they are lined up nice and pretty. Pace car down and away. This long tri-oval wait that is agonizing as a driver. Now we hit the restart zone and the green flag is out, and away we go to try and wrap up stage number 1. Peter deBorja right here in the thick of it, on the throttle, not quite to the back bumper of the 4. In fact, he has fallen back quite a bit, so already a mistake out of the 40s. He slides up to the high side to try and get some momentum built back up.
Yeah, he jumps up in front of the 071 of Eric Laurie. Maybe want a little bit of that John Deere power behind him, and David Booth, well, maybe does not have John Deere power. They work down the back stretch. Here comes Josh Milam. He's getting a masterful push by Zach Workman on his car screen. In that Instacart number 19. Giving a good push to Josh Milam. They run 2 by 2. Here comes Peter deBorja. 3 wide. KR off of turn number 4. Down here through the tri-oval for deBorja. Trying to get up inside the top 10 to score some points. Sees a lot of green spoilers in front of him. And that only means they're going to gain points that he is not if he can't get by them.
3 wide through turns 1 and 2. That third lane being led by the ice-cold mountains of Levy. That 62 machine has that car wound up. He's got some help from his teammate David Overstreet. They fall back just a little bit. And now the 63 of Logan Helton leads the charge on the third lane with Rick Siebrands and Jim Maier on his outside. So Alliance Motorsports making some moves right now and trying to show themselves in position to set up for the win of this stage.
I don't know if you're paying attention or not, KR. We got them 9 deep, 3 by 3, working here in the corner, and these cars are all over. They're dancing more than I do when I do my Twinkle Toes dance down on the boulevard. They work off of the corner. It is Helton on the outside, Zach Workman in the middle. You don't think that these championship points don't mean something. These drivers are racing hard. A lot of bump drafting, a lot of moving around, side drafting. Can they make it another 1.5 laps to the stage break? Right now, Josh Milam showing the way. He's being pushed by English in that 44. Down on the inside, And outside line, the third lane starting to break apart. Now Kevin Freese going to jump up, try to get around the 19 is Zach Workman.
Zach Workman coming off of last week's race win, finding himself right back into the battle for the race lead. So the 19 got that win a little bit late as far as he would be concerned. Would have wanted it sooner to put himself into playoff contention. But Zach Workman, once he came on scene here with the OP Racing Premier Superspeedway Series, has really made some waves and has been an outstanding driver to watch. And once again, here he is out in front.
I don't know if you noticed down the back stretch there, a lot of drivers not liking what they're seeing in front of them, dropping out of this lead pack, trying to miss what is probably brewing as the white silk will fly in stage number 1. Logan Helton showing way. He'll drop down from the third lane down in front of Zach Workman. Here comes Rick Siebrands. He's getting pushed by the Hall of Famer Jim Maier. 6 drivers inside the top 10 are your championship hopefuls. Tyler Miller runs 24th in car number 24. All eyes are up at the front of this one. Workman tried to make a move to the inside underneath Logan Helton. He blocks him. Here comes Sebastian Marin with some help from the 40 of deBorja. Helton up the racetrack trying to break the momentum of Workman, trying to get the stage win. He gets touched. They get sideways. They are 3 wide, 4 wide now through the tri-oval. Will they make it to the checkered flag? It is waving. Looks like Workman will get it. Or was it Marin? It was a photo finish here. Yellow flag is out. And somehow, KR, we don't have scrambled eggs across the start-finish line.
I don't know how we didn't get scrambled eggs, but I do think the 19 is going to be our stage winner. But we will wait from race control. That is Sean McCara here tonight. And Al, we would be remiss if we did not send a big shout out and thank you to Sean McCara for doing race control. And just as soon as I say that, they have informed me that our stage winner for stage number 1 is Sean McCara. Sorry, he's race control. Zach Workman is our stage 1 winner. I am having a bad day.
What is going on that side of the booth? You got hula hoops over there.
If you want the short and skinny of it, I almost died this weekend because I was very malnourished.
Okay.
And I've not been right ever since. I had to take today off from work just because of it.
Well, I don't know if you've ever been right.
No.
Since the day I've known you, but that's time. That's another story for another time, I suppose. Well, you better eat some more McDonald's or something there, KR.
Well, they closed at 11 o'clock on Saturday night, so we went to Subway, and I haven't been the same since.
Well, well, you got the leftover meat sweats.
I think so.
Hey, you don't get them from Instacart. We can talk to Workman about that.
We will talk to Zach Workman as he is our stage 1 winner. They have caught up to that Ford butt stain going as fast as it can, and it's barely crawling. So everyone's going to hit pit road this time. Our stage 1 winner leads the field onto pit road. Quite a few of our championship contenders ended up in the top 10 in that first stage. Ooh, problems for the 4 of Rick Siebrands. I do not believe he hit his pit stall. He is going to have to come around and try and make it again, but Zach Workman, our stage 1 winner, winning the race off of pit road as well. So, Al, what do you say? Let's talk to him and I'll let you find out all the inner workings of Zach Workman.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Man. All right, here we go.
I don't think the radio is dialed up. Hey, this is Zach Sale up in the turn 3 booth, trying to keep KR straight. You got a copy?
Yep, got you.
Well, man, it looks like your hands were full out there and coming to that stage end. That racing is some intense 3-wide action here at Talladega. But talk us through your first stage here. You picked up the stage 1 win and looking pretty sporty in that Instacart groceries number 19.
Peter accidentally took tires on that stop, so we knew he might not get a lot of stage points without that caution. That caution came out, 5-lap dash, and I did everything I could to kind of take the stage win away from the chasers and help her teammate out. And didn't want to do anything too stupid there. Saw Sebastian got on my inside, and just, if he had it, but he had enough of a run just to get it at the line. So pretty cool. First stage win of the year.
Yeah, first one of the year was going to bring that up. So coming towards the end of the season, this team really starting to hit their stride. And you mentioned helping your teammates out. And we know that you're out of the championship hopes so far for this season. Does it all come down to just helping your teammates and being in that situation to be able to help them?
Yep. Since Gabe unfortunately got out, we're just helping Peter. That's our main focus. Just anything to help that 40 car, we're doing. Because, we don't have a dog in the fight. We just want to get that 40 car to the championship 4 and hopefully bring a trophy home for Meteor Racing.
What's it going to take to do that here tonight for the remainder of this race? We got 2 more stages and a lot of laps left to go. The racing already crazy and intense. You expect it to get much more intense than what it was then in that first stage?
Oh, for sure. People who didn't get stage points that first stage, they're going to be going really aggressive for stage 2. So we'll try to keep our car clean and just kind of be in the way. Not do anything egregious, but just kind of be in the way and steal some points from these guys and help the 40 car out.
Well, KR said he was a little bit malnourished this weekend. I'm sure your sponsor can help him with that. He's been all over the place in the booth up here. I think he needs some help.
Well, Instacart can get you groceries within an hour, so I got a code. I can give KR's first free delivery, so you should text me after the race.
Do you hear that, KR?
I did hear that. I'm not sure how I'm gonna text him because he never gave me his phone number.
Well, maybe we'll find out. But we're going back green flag racing there. Zach, good luck here in the next stage. Hopefully we'll be talking to you maybe again.
Yep, thank you guys.
That's Zach Workman, your stage 1 winner, and well, it sounds like he's gonna hook up KR with some food that's gonna take about less than an hour to get to you, KR. So that sounds better than that leftover Subway you had.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot better. All right, so here we go as our field is lined up just a little bit offset. Quite a few cars down on the inside because almost everyone came in, topped off their fuel tanks, and tried to set themselves up in the best way possible to win stage number 2. Lights are out on the Ford Mustang, and it finds its way onto pit road, probably because it has no more horsepower left. Logan Helton in the 63. Dave Hunt in the 53. Gonna lead this field to the green flag. Here we go. They hit the restart zone and green flag is out. And away we go. Once again, stage number 2 here in the round of 8. The opening race at Talladega. Back to green flag conditions.
Back to green flag conditions. They work down here in the turn number 1. Alex Green in that number 3 car. He is in 1 lap down to your race leaders, but as everybody come down and pit with 1 to go, he gets to start up there and be up in the front pack there. We know that number 3 car has a lot of speed. Has shown it the last few weeks here, so if he get back on the lead lap, which is doable with only 1 car being a lap down if we get a yellow flag. can get that lucky dog position, but up front, Logan Helton showing the way in a great push by the 73 of Forbes, but that outside line, well, it is starting to fly with Dave Hunt on the outside.
Dave Hunt leading the charge in that second lane. He has some help behind him. David Overstreet, Anthony English. They are lined up nose to tail in that second lane, but Logan Helton has that foot to the floor in the 63. That kid is always out to win, lead, and do everything first.
If you're not first, you're last. That's what the 46 has, David Overstreet. You put your Old Spice on today?
I did put my Old Spice on today.
So did David Overstreet, and that number 46 working good. But here comes the 23 of Sebastian Marin. High, wide, and handsome off of turn number 4. The 23 working the outside. Side draft in the 46 through the tri-oval. Logan Helton still showing the way, though, as they are 3 abreast already. Peter deBorja says, I want a piece of that action. He's going to jump to the outside. He's bringing the New Yorker, Cody Eldred, in that 14 up with him as well, as we are 4 deep, 3 by 3, working through turns 1 and 2.
They are 3 wide through that corner onto the backstretch. Alex Green bows out, but we do have a new fast lap, and that is done by none other
blowing up
than the 33 of Jeff Crosby. Who blew up?
I believe Jared Forbes blowing up the motor.
The 73
in Camaro.
finds himself down on the apron. But we stay green, and Crosby does have the fastest lap of the race at a 49.54. As Forbes is going to have to burn his one and only fast repair when he hits pit lane. So Al, this is a changing situation lap after lap. Even though all we do is turn left, it ain't so easy.
So this is a high-stakes chess game as they work down the backstretch. Sebastian Marin working the outside. He's got the 25 of Freeze deBorja as well in that upper lane. And he can't push that long, so that I believe that was possibly something that happened. The Forbes maybe got a little bit too hot, stuck there behind someone pushing him. And it just went up in smoke. Forbes down, still on pit road, getting some repairs done to that 73. So a tough break there, but Logan Helton still showing the way. The outside line, though, is starting to build as they've got some more momentum. Andy Bagante and the 21 of Holloway joining in that extreme high side lane. As these guys showing why they are here racing on Monday nights with the OP Series. Hang on to it, English. He got turned a little bit sideways, almost got to the 25 of Freese. Somehow they managed to keep it pointed in the right direction. These guys putting on the best racing on the super speedways here on Monday nights here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We thank you for tuning on in. Got 8 thumbs up, KR. We get double digits. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let these drivers know you appreciate their efforts. Because we're not doing a good job.
Wait a minute. Hold on. All right. I will crack this cold one. Let me crack it. I want to crack it for our 8 championship contenders, because we went from 16 drivers down to 8 and only had 3 races to get it done. And so if you were in the top 8, if you are our championship contenders, just know that this cold one, this one's for y'all. That's tasty.
Did you hear it when you opened it up?
I heard it.
It says Levy.
Yeah. Kind of did. The cold mountains of Les Levy. Speaking of Les, he finds himself a little bit deep right now. That's 62. Working with the 91 of Ernie Williams Jr. A little bit down the running order, but I'll tell you what, Les Levy he's got to be one of my favorite drivers in this series because he doesn't hold back in his comments or his paint schemes. He's just a full throttle kind of guy.
No nonsense.
Oh, no, there's a lot of nonsense with him, and that's why I like him.
All right. Hey, they are still 3x3. Kevin Freese leading the outside lane. They are back to about 7th spot, though. Is Sebastian Marin going to lead that lap? Dave Hunt right there behind him. Logan Helton still working that yellow line down low with the 46 of Overstreet. He gets a little bit sideways down there. How about the 2 of JD Crow? New paint scheme on that automobile as they work down the back stretch. That's a good looking race car.
I'll tell you what, I did like that blue and yellow paint scheme. It has a little bit of yellow around his number, really makes it pop. And then it caught my eye as far as for like almost a retro paint scheme. So JD Crow really coming out guns blazing as far as the paint. Got eliminated from the championship contention, but he was like, hey, I'm not going to eliminate you guys from talking about me.
Yep. He does not always up front, very tough competitor. Just because these drivers got eliminated, that just tells you how tight the competition was. It was a matter of point of making it into the next round or being, I call him a show spoiler, and as the rounds continue to go on, there's going to be less and less of the championship hopefuls and more of the show spoilers. And right now, up front, well, we got 2 championship hopefuls leading the middle and bottom lane of Logan Helton and Sebastian Marin. But there's a lot of jostling for position here, and I expect that we're going to see some pit stops here coming up very shortly.
That we can, but I also have a feeling that the way things are shaping out in stage number 2, we may see someone try and stretch it as far as they can and actually not hit pit road and win this stage.
Is it going to lap 40?
Yes.
Okay. It's possible.
It is.
You said earlier, 17 laps is about as far as they can stretch it.
By yourself, running wide open.
So, in the draft, saving a little bit of fuel. Now, Kevin Freese going to sling by to take the race lead. And look at who's behind him. It's that extra life number 40 of deBorja. As the number 3 of Alex Green comes back out on the pit. He is multiple laps down.
Yeah, Alex Green, the only driver not on the lead lap. Jared Forbes on pit road being serviced by his pit crew. Hunter Reynolds, who I'm not sure what has happened to the 26, but he has finally pushed his car out onto pit lane, and now it is fired and it is rolling out. So we're about to see a championship contender or championship driver roll back out onto the speedway. He is multiple laps down, but let's just hope he's here to help his teammates and not be a cause of trouble.
Yeah, and one car that's in trouble is the 63 of Logan Helton. Not sure what has happened, but he is no longer on the racing surface. That car is behind the wall. Not sure what happened to Logan Helton. Maybe an electrical issue on that 63. Tough break as he was up front leading this race.
Oh, that is bad news for Logan Helton. And I'll tell you what, if I had to pick a driver to win the championship this year, my choice was Logan Helton, because that kid has put in a ton of effort, a ton of heart, a ton of soul, and time again, he has come up just a bit short as far as for a championship for OP Racing. but he just oozes talent and potential and all kinds of stuff. And the nickname, the Kid, maybe foreshadowing what's going to happen this season.
Yeah, tough break there, but not out of it. Show up next week or even get back on the racetrack. And, you know, if there's an accident, we've seen it from time to time before. Accidents happen, people burn through their backup car, and then they're out of the race or down on pit road for a long time. So every position will count, and we will see if Helton makes it back out. But unfortunately, right now the car behind the wall is up front. Sebastian Marin going away now. English going to switch lanes without the directional out in front of the 40 of deBorja. And the outside line, which had momentum, is starting to lose some cars now. Only 4 cars up top. Everybody, I think, getting into position here as we close in. This time by, it'll be 2 laps remaining in stage number 2.
Yeah, this second stage is winding down. Dave Hunt in the 53 has been in the hunt for this stage win the entire time. You recall he started on the front row, and here he is once again, just 1 car between him and the race lead. That is the 23 of Sebastian Marin. As they head off into the corner, the 23 has it for the moment. Sebastian Marin and Kevin Freese, teammates from Team Bootnaka, battling it out right now to try and win this stage.
So look now, Tyler Miller and that disturbed number 24 starting to make some noise now on the outside line. He needs to make up some points as English gets turned sideways, somehow holds on to it, cuts down in front of the 23 of Marin. This time off a turn number 4 when they get to the stripe. It'll be 1 lap to go. And Peter deBorja getting a huge run off a turn number 4 to the 24 of Miller. Miller scored 0 points in opening stage. Would love to score some points now as they get the white flag. Final trip around the Marin down to the inside underneath English. English tries to block but can't do it. They thought about going forward. Oh, and Miller gets put in the outside wall. Big trouble on turn number 2.
Jim Maier goes up and over. Yellow flag comes out, and Sebastian Marin out in front when that happened.
Big wreck off of turn number 2. Big championship implications. I don't know if Miller still has a backup car on pit road. This could be disastrous for the disturbed number 24, but Jim Maier up and over, and he had to take the tow. Tough break for the Hall of Famer who sits down on pit road at stage number 1. Comes off, and the checkered flag is out. Marin's going to pick up the win.
Taking several looks at this crash here, as it was a big crash, but Sebastian Marin winning another stage, your biggest stage winner throughout this season.
Zach Workman got a piece of it. Good to see that the catch fence doing its job, keeping Maier inside the racetrack.
I'll tell you what, time and time again, that catch fence proves itself to be worthy. All right, so Al, nothing solid from race control yet, but how they hit pit road is how we judge an unofficial stage win. Sebastian Marin does hit pit road in first. So let's go ahead and call him our unofficial stage 2 winner.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
I dig it. All right, so almost everyone in this race has hit pit road this time. Down and away goes the 53. He is going to win the race compared to Sebastian Marin, but Peter deBorja comes off first. But let's take a talk with the 23 of Sebastian Marin from Team Bootnaka. And Al, I'm gonna fire it off and talk to our stage winner. The 23 is Sebastian Marin. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. It's been a solid race. Gotten some very handy playoff points, and hopefully now we can close it out or get a good finish.
Well, Sebastian, this 23 has been out front for a majority of this season. You found yourself winning more stages than anyone else. You have a chance at winning a championship as far as when you look down the season stats. But man, I'll tell you what, this 23 is always spectacular to watch, no matter what is going on.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it's just running out front, try to stay out of trouble, and try to stay in the correct line, and trying to have the correct people working with you. And been very fortunate to win as many stages as I've had. And but I wish I had more wins to my name. So hopefully we'll add another one here tonight. And yeah, hopefully I make it to the round of 4 and try to get my first championship.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, we have had several high-class rookies come into this season and think that they can win a championship. I'm not saying that you can't, but I want to know what you think will make it happen for you.
I think is probably try to stay out of trouble, right? Because you only get one faster pair, you only get one bullet. So if you can stay out front, stay out of trouble, and have that bullet late just in case you get caught up in an accident, and maybe a lot of your competitors already used their bullet and they're basically out, then you still have a chance of winning. But yeah, it's staying out front, man. It's track position and trying to keep the right people behind you, right? Because there's a lot of tough competitors that are probably a bit more challenging than others, right? So it's always keeping them in the rear view or using them to help you. So just run out front and stay out of trouble, man. That's really all there is to it.
Well, man, I dig it. I like it. And you've been one of my favorite rookies to watch this season. You and Kevin have always put on a show. So with that being said, any final shout outs, thank yous, I love yous for this stage 2 win that you pulled off?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to my teammate Kevin and JD there. You know, we've been working great this entire year. It's a shame that they're both out, but they've been great teammates. Without them, I wouldn't have as many stage wins or wins at this point. So I want to thank them and give a shout out to you for putting on this podcast and OP for putting on this league, man. It's been a lot of fun.
All right, that is Sebastian Marin, our stage 2 winner from Team Bootnaka. Sebastian, thank you very much, man. Good luck in the rest of this race.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, there you have it. Al, our stage 2 winner. I don't know about you, but man, that was a pretty good one. Pretty good interview for a stage win.
Yeah, he seems pretty calm, cool, and relaxed behind the wheel of that 23. Here, the Logan Helton back out on the racetrack. They got the electrical issue fixed on the 63, but he is down 5 laps to the race leader. Williams, Forbes, and Reynolds all out of this race here tonight.
Yeah, Hunter Reynolds came out, turned a few laps, pulled it back behind the wall. Jared Forbes, we saw his engine blow, and he has not been able to return. He has gone behind the wall. Green flag is back out once again. The 46 of David Overstreet from Checkered Flag Motorsports out in front as he battles with David Hunt in the 53 from Buck Wild Racing.
We get up through the gearbox. Marin with a great push to Overstreet on the back side of him as they work through turns 1 and 2. Going to the down the back stretch for the first time since the restart to start stage 3. What are we going to see in stage 3 KR? We saw it. Stage 1 was very wild. We had a wild 3-wide wreck here at the end of stage number 2. And we see how much the points mean to everybody. What are we going to see here in stage number 3? This one's a little bit of a longer stage, though, just over 50 laps of racing to get done here. Get to lap 94, and that's not to count if we go into overtime.
Al, I know you don't know this, but the Bucks have gone wild for the 53 of Dave Hunt. The crowd has asked for it, and they are going to get it because Dave Hunt is out in front, leading his teammates as the Bucks go wild for Dave Hunt. All right, Al, now we have a new leader. That is the 33 of Jeff Crosby as he makes his way through the tri-oval in that beautifully red-colored Skull Bandit 33. I think Harry Gant would approve of that color scheme.
I would agree. Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite ones. I do like the shiny green one that Crosby runs, but talking to him on the grid here today, had to keep our distance. A little bit under the weather, but I tell you what would make that feel much better. A win here tonight and Dega. And just like that, well, we're going to go 3 wide. How about Les Levy with the Levy Blue Mountains working the outside of the racetrack with the Instacart 19 of Zach Workman, Kevin Fries, and the 95 of Jim Maier. Maier says, I'm going to get my lap back the hard way. So Maier down 2 laps after having to take the toe from turn number 2 in that stage 2 ending wreck. Trying to get back to being 1 lap down. I'm not sure we're done seeing the wrecking. These drivers being very aggressive here tonight.
I'm going to say that we're going to have several more cautions before this race is over as we ride on board with Alex Green, the number 3, finding himself the first car not on the lead lap, and he is doing all he can to try and work his way forward and settle this out one way or another. But the 33 of Jeff Crosby continues to battle at the front with the 53 of Dave Hunt from Buck Wild Racing. Les Levy in the 62. Ice cold mountains of Levy finding themselves in that 3rd lane. He has been very committed to that high side for a majority of this race.
He has been working the extreme high side. And when there's a lot of cars up there, that seems to be the line to be. That has a lot of momentum generated off the corners with these cars as they pass by the 91 of Ernie Williams back out on the racetrack. Williams currently scored 31st in that 91 automobile. Now Sean Stevens starting to make the move. He's up in front of the 53 of Dave Hunt. 2x2, Jim Maier working the extreme outside with Logan Helton. Those 2 cars down laps to your race leaders, remember, so they can get a lap back the hard way. Maybe a yellow flag comes out while they're in front of your race leaders. That helps their efforts greatly here tonight. They don't want to be the yellow, of course, KR.
No one wants to be the yellow, but here we go. We're riding on board with the 40 of Peter deBorja as he finds himself inside the top 20, riding around in 19th place. And you can see the 3 lanes up ahead of him. And then you have a second group that is single file. And then Peter deBorja just trying to catch up to him. So a lot of drivers looks like we got one in the wall.
That was a 24, Tyler Miller, extremely damaged, out of a backup car. Was down on pit road quite a bit trying to fix the damage on that 24, but his hopes of a decent finish here tonight, I think, are dashed, and that is very disturbing.
Yeah, Tyler Miller running a very damaged race car, gets out of the way once again, and so all he can do is log laps and hope for a better showing in next week's race.
Miller gonna go one lap down to race leader. Is now your top two cars that are out in front of this pack. KR, the 95 of Maier. Well, he's back to only being one lap down currently. Logan Helton got a lap back the hard way, so they're praying kind of for a yellow flag right now. They get a yellow flag, they can go back around. They'll only be one lap down. But as I say, that Kevin Freese trying to push Les Levy on the outside. Dan Holloway as well up there in that Reese's number 21. And just like that, they're back to being 5 and 2 laps down respectfully for the 95 and 63. So their goal is to stay up front, I think they are. Try to get a lap back the hard way and pray for maybe a quick yellow flag and not to be involved in it.
So Crosby in the 33, your race leader, he has Jim Maier in the 95 in front of him, and that allows the 63 of Logan Helton to pull out in front. Logan Helton not on the lead lap. Jim Maier in the 95 not on the lead lap. Sean Stevens in the 27 and the 33 of Jeff Crosby. They are on the lead lap. They are battling for the race lead. So your lap down cars are doing all they can to not lose another lap.
Yeah, they're trying to stay there. And let's face it, those cars, they're not slouches. Those are some good bullets leading this pack around there. If you're Jeff Crosby and Sean Stevens, are you okay with them being in front of you? You can kind of use less fuel. You're using the draft. You're pushing them around there as Les Levy works around the outside. But right now, in the early stages of stage number 3, are you fine with those, let's call them lappers, being in front of you and you using the toe off them?
Absolutely. Anytime that I can do something with less effort, I'm all for it.
These guys still putting on a show 3 wide, but Les Levy has not given up on the extreme outside of the racetrack. He's got Kevin Freese there with his Kellogg's Flakes number 25. JD Crow's coming back to the front with Dan Holloway, so got some good bullets up on the outside as well. And I think with the way the racing is, we saw Sebastian Marin kind of drop back out of it, now we see him starting to close back in on this group, but I think maybe giving himself some space just in case something happens here early on in the stage. You can't win it right now, but you can sure lose a lot of points and a lot of positions if you get caught up in something. As Les Levy with a great head of steam down the backstretch.
The 62 of Les Levy from the Checkered Flag Motorsports stable finds himself out in front, clearing those lap down cars. And man, I'll tell you what, once you have that clean air, that is a good feeling, because the world is your oyster.
Wow, that was really deep, KR.
Yeah, I dug hard for that one because I didn't know where to go.
Well, Jim Maier and Logan Helton said, well, no, you're not going to be out in front. We want to be out in front. We want to be talked about. We're hoping for a yellow flag. Les Levy thought about maybe putting it 3 wide. Thinks better of it. Jeff Crosby up his tailpipes down here to turn number 3. And Kevin Freese says, well, you 4 drivers battle it out. I'm going to get a Reese's to go to the front.
Well, I'll tell you what, we have another Buck Wild Racing driver out in front. That is the 27 of Sean Stevens. And even though he isn't really in front of this pack, he is leading this race.
Yes. I tell you, I don't know if we can handle another Buckstone Wild.
Oh no, there's only one per race, because if we do more than that, it gets too crazy.
And we are already at Talladega.
All right, so now Kevin Freese in the 25 finds himself out in front, slicing down in the middle lane. Will he drop down in front of the 95? And now what we're seeing here is a big mix between drivers who are trying to beat the race leader and drivers who are trying to stay on the lead lap. They are mixing it up hardcore, and some of them are not even battling for the race lead.
No, I mean, you got 95 of Jimmy Maier. He's trying to get a lap back right now. He is 2 laps off that pace. Logan Helton at 5 laps in the garage with an electrical issue. He's trying to get back to being 4 laps down, as he'll cut underneath the 25. Good side draft down the backstretch, and now he'll hook up with the 95 of Jimmy Maier, who's getting a push from Les Levy. I think this is the first time tonight that Levy has really gone to the freezer at the bottom of the racetrack. Maybe he's really digging for a cold Levy off of turn number 4.
I'll tell you what, if the 62 can find a way to win this race, we're in for a treat in the post-race show. But a lot of laps to go still in this one. Keep in mind, if we have to, we will use 2 green-white checkered attempts.
We will. That is a true statement. KR does not lie.
Often.
Well, you never lie, you just bend the truth.
A little bit.
Right.
Sometimes more than others.
Sean Stevens out front now. Kevin Freese down low as they work to the outside. Starting to see that single line form on the inside of the racetrack, and just like that, Logan Helton gonna have to peel off the racetrack and come down pit road. Remember, he's off sequence after a long stay down on the pit road. But I don't think we're too far from seeing some green flag pit stops here in stage number 3. Our first one, I think we'll have, what, 3, possibly 3 pit stops, not counting if we have a green-white checkered.
Are you asking me to do math?
I just did the quick math I was telling you.
Oh, 6
divided by 2.
10.
All right. That's how we do it here in the Common Core math.
Nailed it.
John Stevens going to pull off with Dave Hunt. That's going to allow the 2 of JD Crow to go into your race lead. Only 2 drivers from the Buck Wild Racing team coming down pit road that time, as JD Crow still leads it here in the turn number 1. Bob Lacavera running there in spot number 2. And as I say that, here comes Sebastian Marin. Where did he come from? He's taking the race lead off turn 2.
The 23 out in front finds himself trying to close the door on that inside lane. Several cars got down below the yellow line. That is not illegal here in this series, but it is a bit dangerous, but everyone able to hold on to it. Here we go. Another group of drivers peel off for pit road. Sebastian Marin says, I'm going to stay out. And he tries to lead another lap. Meanwhile, Zach Fritsch in the 12 out in front of him, putting himself back on the lead lap, but only by like 2 inches, and falls behind through the corner.
He does. Rick Siebrands really had to get up the racetrack. Maybe been a little bit hot in that Yeti number 4. Now Fritz gonna swing to the outside. Oh, hang on to it, Dan Holloway. Holloway had to make an evasive move as Siebrands made a hard left-hand turn. Someone checked the forehead of Holloway as the door was slammed on it. You might have some chocolate on that door. It looks like Lacavera. It looks like they're all going to come down pit road this time off of turn number 4. The race leaders coming down pit road this time, and deBorja really charging, got down to pit road speed.
Of the drivers who have pitted, Jeff Crosby in the 33 is out in front of him, but here comes Dave Hunt in the 53. He had a huge run. Him and Sean Stevens really worked well together. So Buck Wild Racing once again putting themselves out in front and contention for the race lead.
That they are. They're going to stay out on the racetrack. Jeff Crosby is in third. Behind them, that is, well, I believe that's the 62 of Les Levy. They will flash by the drivers coming off the pit road, and this is where it gets tricky. A lot of speed difference with the drivers blending back out on the racetrack, and we have seen some incidents happen because of the speed difference. A good heads up from the spotters as they work down the back stretch.
We ride on board with the 53 of Dave Hunt, who is at full song, closing in very quickly with these drivers who are trying to get up to speed. And now Dave Hunt makes the move to the outside. Dave Hunt battling to try and take over the top spot. And as they make their way through the tri-oval, Dave Hunt has the lead at the start-finish line.
Yes, he is really high flying up on the outside with the 27 of Stevens giving a good push. Imagine that, Les Levy up on the extreme high side of the racetrack. Who would have thunk it?
Not me.
All right. Hey, at least you're honest.
I do what I can. Peter deBorja in the 40. The 2 of J.D. Crow. The 19 of Zach Workman. The 23 of Sebastian Marin. And rounding out your top 5, that is the 33 of Jeff Crosby. Right now, they are all battling a 6-car battle. Right here as they cross the start-finish line, we're working lap 64 of 94.
Only 2 cars out of the race. That was the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Jared Forbes out of the race. Anthony English has been on pit road for over 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure he has not got off the damaged car clock. So I think maybe English might be out of this one as well, KR. So those would be 3 cars out of it. Williams back out on the racetrack in that 91. He's mixing it up here up front with the race leaders. He's right there in front of the 14 of Cody Eldred.
Do want to point out that Alex Green in the 3 also has had his scorecard pulled. He finds himself in a situation where he cannot get back out on track.
All right.
So J.D. Crow in the 2 continues to lead this race. Sebastian Marin in the 23 sits in a battle for second and third as he is the second car down on the inside line. Zach Workman in the 19 and the 40 of Peter deBorja leading the second lane onto the front stretch.
That they are. They flash by the 04 of Mark Mann and the 95 of Jim Maier. Logan Helton working the extreme outside as well. So 2 by 2 as they snake here in the turn number 1. New race leader. Oh, it's the 40 of deBorja, but here comes the 2 of J.D. Crow working it downstairs off of turn number 2. And look at them side jab. You see them cut off the corner. They get really close to the car to the inside or outside of them. They're just trying to suck that car off the car in front of them to break through that momentum of that said lane. But deBorja is still showing out front. Zach Workman, your stage 1 winner. Rides there second in line in the outside lane off of turn number 4.
JD Crow and Peter deBorja racing through the tri-oval, trying to lead this lap. deBorja gets it done, and laps are starting to wind down here. And Al, I don't know about you, but man, everyone is moving around so much. They're all taking chances. As fast as we are turning laps right now, I feel like we're going to have at least 2 more cautions before this thing is all said and done.
As that hourglass starts to fade down here, the moves are going to get a little bit more aggressive. The side drafts a lot more aggressive. And we can see a lot of action there. And already in what has been is Tyler Miller going to go from the bottom lane all the way to the outside, let the race leaders get by him. So Tyler Miller down laps here, race leader, but has picked up a few spots just by out there riding around. And what a helpless feeling. That has got to be one of the worst things to do, especially on a super speedway. Have a wounded car out there driving around, knowing, well, your hopes for a win or a good finish are out the door. You're just trying to turn as many laps as you can, maybe pick up some spots if a wreck were to happen. I don't know if it's if. I think it's when it happens, with the way these guys are really starting to lean on each other.
And as we say that, it seems like everyone kind of just settled down almost instantly.
Well, you know, they got to keep, you know, we say something and then they prove us wrong. They do it each week.
Absolutely. Each and every time we say something, they're like, ooh, they said this. Let's do the opposite.
Yep, I agree.
All right, so JD Crow, Peter deBorja, Zach Workman, Sebastian Marin, Jeff Crosby, all battling right there nose to tail. deBorja slides it down to the inside. JD Crow gets to his back bumper. We're down to 26 laps to go, Al. Last time we were on pit road was on lap 61. We're working lap 69. So, one more pit stop.
I think so. 25 circuits left to go. Do you come in as soon as that 17 to 16 laps to go mark? Or do you stretch it and have a little bit of insurance? Or are you kind of, your hand kind of dealt with whatever the rest of the pack does?
I'm looking at lap 15 to go, like 15 laps to go, 14 laps to go. That way I feel like I'm covered with our 2 possible attempts at a green-white checkered. Whether that's the right call or not, I couldn't tell you, but man, I gotta believe that we're gonna have at least one attempt at a green-white checkered, so I have to cover that basis.
Not a bad way of thinking. I think I would be right there with you. That's why we're up here, not down there, making the big money on top of the pit boxes.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, this race is a little bit like roulette. You don't know where it's going to go, but they still show you the stats of the last 10, 15, 20 times that they've let that ball loose and where it ends up. You can try and make a strategy call based off of the past.
27 as Stevens gets turned into the corner. Rick Siebrands might be involved. Yellow flag coming out. It looks like, oh no, is that Jim Maier is involved once again. The car down. Looks like heavy rear end damage on the 95. And Jim Maier's night has just gotten worse.
That it has, the yellow flag has come out. We go on board with the 95 as he takes a hard hit into the outside wall. take another look here and see if we can figure out what happened in this field.
I believe it all started with the 27 KR of Sean Stevens. There was a big checkup that looked like going into turn number 3.
All right, we're going to take another look. Stevens and Bob Lacavera make contact in the corner, and then it is just chaos behind there.
Mark Mann involved, 21 of Holloway, Andy Briganti also hard contact. Your heart breaks for these drivers involved, especially the ones with the green spoilers on them. It's going to make next week that much more wild for those drivers.
All right, so the field comes down pit road, and we are going to step away for just a moment and reset the field and get ready to bring you the end of this race. No one go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
You wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the OP Racing Premier Superspeedway Series is here at Talladega for the Dega 250, race number 1 in the round of 8. Out in front, the 40 of Peter deBorja on the inside of row number 1. to the outside. That is the 23 of Sebastian Marin. And Al, we have quite a bit of racing / dancing to do.
Yeah, we do only 20 laps to go when we go back. Green flag racing. Is the lights are out on the Ford Mustang. They turned them off. They're not broken.
Are you sure?
Positive. But look at the green, KR. Only 2 up front currently. Inside the top 10. Siebrands is 12th. Milam 17th. Those are your top 4 chase contenders. Your other 3 all in trouble. 26th, 27th, and 29th respectfully. So those drivers are going to dig themselves out of a hole come next week at Daytona. But through the tri-oval into the butt kicker restart zone, and we are green flag back underway here with 20 laps to go.
Peter deBorja in the 40, Sebastian Marin in the 23. Both drivers have green spoilers, meaning they are still in the championship contention. Kevin Freese and Les Levy, they are not, and I'll tell you what, either one of those cars wants to win this race just as bad as anyone else out here.
I would definitely agree with that as they work down the backstretch, trying to play spoiler and help their teammates out. Listen, if one of these non-chase drivers win, that helps leave up those 4 spots open come next week. Next week we come in and say Sebastian Marin wins here tonight. Only 3 are in. Sebastian will punch his ticket into race for a championship in 2 weeks' time. As Les Levy will flash around the outside with Dave Hunt giving him a good push. Levy, your new race leader, 19 laps to go.
Laps are winding down here. Al Twinkle Toes Smith and Les Levy with the Turn 3 Racing Network on his deck lid, doing all he can to put this car into victory lane.
That he can. Look at Jeff Crosby making a move inside the top 10. He's been quiet. Tonight, Bob Lacavera flexing his muscle inside the top 10. Logan Helton very quick, but multiple laps down. Runs in that 27th position, trying to make some moves. It's another lap or so, he'll pass the 24 of Tyler Miller. So came back out in the 30th position. KR is going to most likely end up with a top 25 here tonight, if everything stays calm, cool, and collected. And we know what the likelihood of that is.
Not very.
Right.
I do want to point out, we do have 3 championship contenders well down the running order, and with just 2 races in the round of 8, that is not what you want to see. Logan Helton, Tyler Miller, and Jim Maier in dire straits right now, and a bad run here puts you in a must-win situation next week, and there can only be 1 winner next week.
Yeah, those drivers are going to really have to hope not that you have really bad things on your competitors, but, you know, they're going to have to hope for maybe not such good finishes. You know, say Sebastian Marin, deBorja run, finish inside the top 5 this week. Well, they got to feel pretty good about their chances, but they got to be smart and not get caught up in stuff next week at Daytona. You don't necessarily need to win. You just need to finish well, run well in those opening stages. Remember, some of those drivers have some good stage points here tonight. So just because they're down on the running order doesn't mean that they're technically really out of it, but it definitely does not help their chances.
On the pit road, here come several drivers as they peel off Les Levy, Dave Hunt. They stay out. They want to hold on to the track position. But with now 16 laps to go, quite a few drivers have rolled the dice, and they're saying, we're going to hit pit road. We think this is going to go the distance that we have planned originally.
It is possible. We've had a number of cars either out of the race, down on pit road. So it is possible, but the way these drivers have been pushing and shoving here tonight, anything can happen. How about the 97? Jeremy Funk, that Spider, stalking its prey, ready to cast out. It's Webb. And he is going to make it inside the top 10 as we have two more drivers peeling off to go down pit road.
Yeah, several more cars have hit pit lane. Do want to point out that problems have come about for championship contender Peter deBorja. He got caught speeding on the pit road. Let's take a look and see how that went down for the 40. You can see the flames coming out the tailpipe, and he has those brakes locked up and did not get it slowed down enough. Sebastian Marin, just ahead of him, was able to be below the speed limit, but Peter deBorja just a little too hot. And there you have it, a tale of two drivers hitting pit road, and man, one made it, the other didn't.
Yeah, and that is going to be a costly mistake. David Overstreet sideways. He's in the inside wall coming to pit road. Stays off of the other cars, but Overstreet really locked them up coming to pit road. And what did we talk about at the beginning of the race? Keeping the mistakes to a minimum. That's a big one for deBorja. Going to find himself one lap down in 22nd. So your chase contenders really having a rough go of it here tonight in the opening round of 8.
Josh Milam in the 7, your highest running chase contender in the midst of these green flag pit stops. Jimmy Reynolds in the 17, your race leader. And I'll tell you what, if Reynolds can win this race, he will be one happy SOB, because that 17 has been a while from victory lane.
It has been many races for him. Nice looking race car, black, blue, and white.
Oh, wait, no, it's a Mustang. He's not going to win.
Hey, it could happen. There's only 3 of them in the race, and they're all up front.
Ooh. Oh, they are. How'd that happen?
Well, they're sneaky like that, KR.
Well, I'll tell you what, if one of these drivers out in front right now, whether it be Jimmy Reynolds, Josh Milam, or Dustin Barber, can pull off the race win, I would be ecstatic for any of these drivers to win this race, because it really has quite the bit of strategy coming into play here, because FSR is out in front right now. They have not come down pit road, and they are about the only ones that have not hit pit lane.
Yeah, they were last on pit road, lap 73. The 12 laps remaining. I don't know if they can make it that far or not.
Yeah, we'll find out.
That would be 21 laps. If it goes green.
Ernie Williams Jr. in the 91, a teammate with FSR. So he is staying with these guys. So all 4 drivers of FSR are stuck together right now. Richard Kuhn in the 47, following in the draft from those 4 drivers. As we're going to get 11 laps to go. Jimmy Reynolds, as you mentioned, last on pit road, lap 73. We're working lap 84 right now. So that's a stretch. I think these guys are hoping for a caution. But if they get that caution, they're going to get passed up by everyone who thinks they can make it to the end. So I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, and I mean, right now there's 19 cars on the lead lap. So it's not like there's only 10 cars on the lead lap.
Jeremy Funk in the 97 is the last car on the lead lap. He is all by himself right now, as Jimmy Reynolds just crossed the start-finish line, so Funk has about half a lap before he goes a lap down. Funk did hit pit road on lap 80, so he should be good to go to the end. But as I mentioned, he's all by himself. Not a good situation for him. Jimmy Reynolds in the 17, Josh Milam in the 7, and the rest of our FSR drivers, Dustin Barber and Ernie Williams Jr., continue to turn laps. Mark Mann in the 04 just ripped by him on the high side. Last time around, Jimmy Reynolds turned a 54.93. This time, the 17, when he crosses the start-finish line, his lap time is going to be a 54.69. So he is 4 seconds slower than his best lap. That tells me they are doing all they can to control their pace, slow it down, and try and get to the end of this race without a caution and without hitting pit road.
Yeah, they're definitely on fuel conservation mode. 4 seconds off. They're not running full throttle right now. Now looks like they hit the gas. They work around the 04 of Mark Mann. Richard Coons kind of lost their draft, so maybe it's time to go. They've hit the gas pedal. They still have some time they could give up. Marin in that pack from 7 seconds off these racers. Let's see this time by. So they picked it up 2 seconds. I think it's go time. I think they've hit it. Yeah, I think they've saved enough fuel. I think they're good to go to the end.
Well, with 8 laps to go, we ride on board with Richard Kuhn. That is Ernie Williams Jr. just ahead of the 47. So Jimmy Reynolds out in front, but does he have enough fuel? Did the calculations they made while on track prove to be correct? And I'll tell you what, I would love to see this 17 win the race, but the 7 of Josh Milam needs to win this race to put himself into the championship contention.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the teammates, you play nice. I mean, a win is nice, but doesn't help your team get that championship. The 7 wins. You have at least one bullet going into the championship 4. Depends on how team orders play out.
And I'll tell you what, FSR is the epitome of teamwork. They always find a way to work together to put whoever needs that hand out up into the spot that they need. And so if Josh Milam needs a win to secure himself into the championship contention, I believe that FSR is going to make that happen.
This time by the stripe, 6 laps to go. And I think if they can get in the line here with Mann, deBorja, Workman, and Stevens, that's going to help benefit them even more. They're going to get that draft, be able to save a little bit more fuel. Still 6 seconds in front of Sebastian Marin and Kevin Freese as they run 5th and 6th right now. Richard Kuhn's still part of this pack as well. But this is all going to help benefit them as long as they can save some fuel. You just ride there. All these drivers are not for position.
No, they are not. And Jimmy Reynolds holds on to the race lead. We're going to get 5 laps to go. And the 17 is doing what he can to stretch his fuel. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be an impressive run from FSR if they can pull it off. Reynolds, either he gets a win or Josh Milam gets a win. Whoever in FSR, if they make this work, it is going to be an outstanding strategy gamble.
It's going to be either a huge gamble in a huge win, or it's going to go drastically wrong here. Everybody doing a good job. Mark Man way up the racetrack. Peter deBorja is going to get by him. Is deBorja last car on the lead lap currently? Looks like Kuhn
peeled off for pit road.
But there's 4 laps to go, so does that make you a little bit nervous if you are the FSR cars?
Man, I'll tell you what, it doesn't make me nervous if I'm an FSR driver. Richard Kuhn doing his own thing. I have all my teammates around me. I gotta think that we're doing the right thing. If our numbers are where they need to be, we're going after it.
Yeah, right now they've still kept their pace down a little bit. And don't look now, but Sebastian Marin leading the charge of that second pack, and they're starting to close in on this group. Just like the FSR is coming to pit road.
Here comes Jimmy Reynolds. He hits pit lane. The 7 of Josh Milam stays out. Logan Helton hit pit road as well. So Milam assumes the race lead. He has Dustin Barber on track with him in the 6. Zach Workman not on the lead lap. Sean Stevens not on the lead lap. Peter deBorja, last car on the lead lap. So Josh Milam sitting in that cat's cradle, if you will.
Yeah, and Reynolds was the lead car there, but it looks like now they're going to peel off the racetrack, so unable to make it. That's going to give your race lead to the 23 of Sebastian Marin. You got to applaud the effort. Almost there, just about 5 miles shy of making it on fuel.
Yeah, they tried to stretch it, but FSR ended up in the wrong strategy call. And now Sebastian Marin in the 23, who has had an outstanding rookie season, finding himself out in front with his teammate, the 25 of Kevin Freese, on his back bumper. And once again, team orders could come into play here. Kevin Freese not in battle for the championship. He maybe just here to play support for Sebastian Marin.
Yeah, and right now, are they getting too far out there? AD Crow has Rick Siebrands pushing him here. It is going to get wild. The white flag is up. The next flag will end it. They are not going to go to overtime. Enter turn number 1. Logan or Marin showing the way. Kevin Freese giving him a good push. Here comes the 4 of Siebrands. JD Crow with a push. He's going to try to go low. Siebrands to the high side with Holloway.
Sebastian Marin in the 23, holding on to the race lead for the moment as they make their way down the back stretch. But here comes Rick Siebrands in the 4. He has his race car high, wide, and handsome. He's trying to make it work in that 4 machine. And now, off of turn number 4, that inside line going to prevail. Kevin Freese in the 25 takes the race lead. But Sebastian Marin through the middle of the triangle, and Sebastian Marin is going to win this race.
Marin picking up the win, punching his ticket. JD Crow was second, and Rick Siebrands gonna end up in 3rd, and those are the only 2 chase drivers inside the top 10. KR, that has got to be the biggest story here tonight.
So our chase contenders ending up in a world of hurt. But Sebastian Marin, who has won the most stages this season, this rookie coming in and puts his name in the hat as the first of 4 drivers for championship contention.
What an amazing finish. Who would have thought we would have seen them 3 abreast coming to the checkered flag? I mean, you never doubt it, but just another example of why these guys are the best here and why they are invited to race here on Monday nights. Is Marin burns it down here in turn 1 in front of the crowd, headed his way back towards the start finish line.
That he is. And Al, nothing left but to get ready for our post-race show, and well, it's going to be a Team Bootnaka post-race show because our podium is full of Team Bootnaka. But let's kick it off by talking to our race winner and our driver who is the first one to make it into the championship for the 23. That is Sebastian Marin. Sebastian, congratulations on the race win. Nice job.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Man, that takes a lot of weight off my shoulders, so now I get 2 weeks to just have fun.
Well, I'll tell you what, all of your teammates here end up on the podium. Team Bootnaka 1, 2, and 3 here tonight. An outstanding run, and even more is that it puts one of you into the championship 4, and that is you, Sebastian. So tell us a little bit about this race. You had yourself already in position with a stage win, lots of points going your way, and then you ended up with the win to lock yourself in.
Yeah, it was a great race. Started off the night with the plan of trying to get stage points, especially being the first race, knowing that I can be a bit more aggressive because you have two more races to go. So I got my stage points, finished second in the first stage, and then won the second stage, like you said. And then after that, I kind of played it safe a little bit, knew that I had good points, so I thought it was getting a little dicey for me up there, so I dropped to the back, and then I made myself back. I got myself back to the front when the pit stops were coming, and that last yellow, I guess it was kind of close. Like you saw, it was split strategy. We didn't know if we should top off and try to make it to the end, like about 5 people tried to do it, or just do a few laps and pit. And I guess our strategy paid off. We knew they were going to be close, but we knew we were going to be really close in catching them. So when they pitted, it was a big sigh of relief. And then our attention turned to Rick because he was the only playoff driver in our group. So my team did an incredible job of positioning themselves to try to block them and take their run. And they did. I thought he was going to get clear entering 3, but JD gave me a heck of a push entering turn 3, and he didn't. And then I side drafted my teammate to beat him to the line, and we got a 1-2-3. So I can't thank them enough. This win is definitely on them. I owe it to them because without them, I don't think I would have won it tonight. So I want to give a big thank you and shout out to them for being such a great teammates. And man, it was a great race, and I can't wait for the finale to run for a championship.
Well, Sebastian, nice job, man. Outstanding finish. You end up with the race win, punching yourself into the championship 4. Congratulations all around. Outstanding job. Man, before we let you go, one last chance to say thank yous, I love yous. Anyone else you need to mention?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's say I love my teammates. What a great team we've been working together. We've had our ups and downs throughout the season, but it came together today. Want to thank you for putting on this broadcast. Want to thank OP for this league, and man, what a great race. I think that was probably the best race of the season, and I don't say that because I won. I say that just in general. It just seemed like a really good, hard fought, relatively clean race. So yeah, it was awesome.
All right, man. Well, nice job. Once again, congratulations. That is Sebastian Marin, driver of the number 23 Nexus Esports, getting it done. Congratulations, man. And we look forward to seeing you in the Championship 4.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, there you have it, Al, our race winner and our first driver to make it into the championship playoff. But Al, I think you have caught up with our second place finisher. That is the driver of the 25.
I have caught up with the 25 of Kevin Freese. Kevin, how are you?
Pretty good. How you guys doing tonight?
Not too bad. And it looks like you're going to come home, I believe, if this is correct, in the 6th position, or were you 3rd?
I was P2.
P2. It's all messed up here. Anyway, what a great race. You helped Sebastian Marin there. You have some speed here, but I know it's all about getting that teammate into that Final Four. You have done that. So now, next week, after you come out of this race here, is it about making the rest of the chase racers' lives miserable?
Oh, absolutely. You got to have fun. I mean, we're still out there racing, so got to respect them, but got to race them hard because that's how you show them respect.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a great race here tonight. We saw a lot of 2, 3, and 4 wide racing. Me personally, I don't know how you guys do it. You got to be white knuckled out there the whole time, and these cars, they like to dance around. I mean, how difficult was it out there tonight? The condition of the track looked like it was hot and greasy. Here at Talladega, we haven't seen that in the other times we've been here. So tonight really seemed to have you guys on your toes, to keep the cars underneath you.
Yeah, I prefer the hot track. I think it's a lot more fun to drive, slide around a little bit. The end of stage 1, I'm sure that was a pretty good show for you because that was a little sketchy in the car with us sliding around, cutting each other off, taking lines. It's so much fun when the track is hot too, because the car isn't a slot car, and you also have to plan when you're pushing and time your run properly to not overheat.
Yeah, does that surprise you that, like, for stage 1, you talk about how crazy that one was? Does that surprise you sometimes, is how aggressive y'all get, in stage 1, knowing that there's so much more left to the race? I know the stage points mean a lot. To get those points helps out, especially if you end up having a bad night. But does it surprise you sometimes that how aggressive, stage 1 gets? It seems like stage 2 a little bit tamer most weeks, but stage 1 always is white knuckled, it seems.
Yeah, stage 1 has, I don't know why the aggression meter is always pegged in that one. Can't figure out why. I think it's fun because I'm not racing for points right now, but I know when I was racing for points, I was just like, why are we doing this? Because it seemed like you just wreck a bunch of cars a lot, and then you have to be really cautious for that whole entire middle part of the race. Because, I mean, the ending is what actually pays the real points.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. I enjoy it from my seat. I know from your seat, it's got to be a little stressful, especially with only having one of those backup cars, to be able to jump into. So, at least you don't know either. So if we don't know, we just make it up as we go. But you guys put on, a hell of a show week in and week out. Coming home in that second for Bootnaka, 1, 2, 3 finish rate. That's got to feel good. Headed into the final 2 races of the season.
Absolutely. Tonight was a great team race. The pit stops were really good, and that was key on the last. And then we got out of the pits really well, so that allowed us to get lined up, because for a while there, I was trying to I knew they were saving fuel, but we weren't sure if they were going to make it. So then the goal was just trying to catch them and not blow up in the process. It was a lot of fun.
Well, you're going to come home in that number 2 position. We know you got a bunch of guys you need to thank. I know some of them are here on the podium with you, but who makes it all possible for this 25 team?
Yep. Thank you to all my teammates. It was an awesome race tonight. Thank you to you guys for the broadcast. It's a lot of fun to go back and watch the craziness that we managed to pull off every single week. And thank you to the admins for putting up with us.
So there you have it, KR. It is Kevin Freese coming home in that number 2 position. I can read the notes here. As he'll come home second, third spot. I believe you've caught up with him. It's Mr. J Concepts himself, JD Crow.
I have caught up with our third and final podium finishing driver. That is the 2 of JD Crow. And JD, an outstanding race for you here tonight, man.
Yeah, thank you, KR. We actually put one together from start to finish, so feel pretty good about tonight's effort.
Well, man, that 2 comes in on the podium. That's 2 in a row for you, but your championship hopes getting dashed last week, even though you finished on the podium. So now I gotta believe you're just out here to mess everyone else's plans up.
Well, I don't want to mess anybody's plans up, but we do have some unfinished business to to finish our rookie season. So we're going for wins, we're going for front rows, and we're going to spoil some other guys' nights if that comes to be. But I felt kind of bad having to jump up in front of Rick there when they were getting the run, but I knew if they got to my quarter, they were going to pin me behind that lap car, and so I just had to go for it. If Kevin wasn't going to jump up there, I had to, and fortunately, we all got through it, so that's what counts.
Well, man, this 2 got through it, and you push Team Bootnaka 1, 2, and 3. So tell us a little bit about what that was like as far as a team member.
Well, the goal there at the end was to make sure either Sebastian won or Kevin won, and we wanted to get Sebastian locked in so he could breathe to the finals. And so it was all about just getting on the wheel and trying not to wreck them, but push them as hard as we could and see what happened. And it worked out for us tonight.
Well, man, outstanding job. Great finish for Team Bootnaka as you lock out the podium. So JD, shout outs, thank yous, anything you'd like to add?
Oh yeah, thanks to guys for working tonight. We had some great stops. That was all but one. I kind of came out pretty slow and kept us broke up there on that one pit stop, but we came out together when it counted at the end and got up to speed quick together. So thanks to those guys for the effort tonight, and got to always thank the guys down at jconcepts.net in Groveland, Florida for letting us carry the colors. Peter for creating a new livery for us to run through the rest of the season. And thank you guys for the broadcast. Hope Mara and all the fans enjoyed the race. Mara, hope you're doing well. Lost your family member recently, so I know that's always tough. So we're thinking about you and your family. And all the guys here at OP that invited us to race on Monday night. Look forward to next season and look forward to finishing this one out strong.
All right, JD. Well, nice job, man. Once again, congratulations. A solid 3rd place finish here tonight.
Thank you, KR.
JD Crow from Team Bootnaka, our final step on the podium. And Al, I'll tell you what, this race all said and done, and we got one more to go for our championship 4 to be decided.
That we do, and it's going to take place the last 2 weeks in Daytona. And how about next week? The Legacy track, the 2008 circuit of Daytona International Speedway. That one will be a hot, slick, and bumpy one. And we wrap it up on June 27th, the final race of the season. I am looking forward to it. Talladega did not disappoint once again. I think there's only one thing left that we have to do.
There is just one thing left. Let's go ahead and run through our finishing results here tonight. Sebastian Marin, Kevin Freese, JD Crow, Team Bootnaka locking out the podium. Then Alliance Motorsports driver Rick Siebrands finishing in 4th. And Dan Harrington from Maier Racing rounds out your top 5.
Dan Holloway will finish 6th. Jeff Crosby, Les Levy, Dan Hunt, and David Booth for Checker Flag Motorsports rounding out the top 10.
Andy Brigante, Eric Laurie, Cody Eldred, Bob Lacavera, and David Overstreet, your next 5 finishers here in tonight's race.
And it is led in the 16th spot from Fuel Sim Racing. This was Josh Milam, Jimmy Reynolds, and Dustin Barber. 16th, 17th, and 18th. Richard Kuhn, a driver out of Florida. 19th, and rounding out your top 20 for Meteor Racing, it was Peter deBorja.
Zach Workman in 21st, 22nd, Zach Fritsch, Jeremy Funk 23rd, Mark Mann, the 04 Batmobile, finds himself 24th, and Logan, the Kid Helton, finishing in 25th spot due to his computer issues.
26th will go to Tyler Miller. 27th to Sean Stevens for Buck Wild Racing. Ernie Williams Jr. and Jim Maier, 28th, 29th, and Alex Green, 30th here tonight. All out of the race. Anthony English, Jared Forbes, and Hunter Reynolds will make up your 33-car field. And some of those names that we just read at the bottom of this pylon, they are in big trouble headed into next week, trying to make the top 4 in the standings. Tyler Miller, Logan Helton, they're a big hole along with Jim Maier to climb out of.
Yeah, our championship contenders at the bottom here are in a must-win situation coming up next week, but only one driver can win it. So here we go, folks. Hold on to your hats as we head to the Legacy Daytona, the bumpy Daytona. And I'll tell you what, we are ready for it. Me and Twinkle Toes himself. And so until next week, y'all stay safe and have a good night.
Warning, the following stunts are performed by idiots or under the supervision of stupider idiots. If you attempt to reenact any of these idiotic stunts you will see, you will be left with idiotic scars. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Alex Green. Welcome to OP Racing.